Welcome back. I'm Dr. Kevin Hadley. This is the Board Game Professor, and this is my detailed explanation on how Stone Age works. So we've done the setup of the game, we've done allocation, we've done of people, we've done resolution of what those workers have done. We also did the round cleanup. Now I'm going to do end of game cleanup and the specifics of cards and of buildings. Okay, so first let's do the cards. Now I'll talk about the points last. Let's talk about the tops. Okay, so there's a couple of different types of tops. Some are like this one is an extra farm, so I would move this up. Okay, this one's just a resource, so I collect a brick and be on my merry way. Okay. Some have a dice associated with a resource. So this is like I have two workers collecting stone. So the rules apply still. I roll my 2 dice. I rolled a 3. I wouldn't get any stone. But because it's just like people, I could use a tool, so I could use this tool to make it a 5 and at least get 1 stone out of it. Okay. Then I have these tools. Okay. So it's a little tool that has a number on it. This is a 1 shot plus 3. So for 1 dice roll where I could use a tool like this one, like a collection, like food, whatever, I can use this once and add 3. Okay. There's also this one though, that's a permanent tool. So that would just be like, okay, I add another tool to my set, or I upgrade a tool, to a 2 or whatever. Okay, and then I have, food. Okay, so this is just collecting food. I have points, so that gives me 3 points. And then I have this one. Okay, so this one's special. This one lets me draw 1 from the pile. I don't get the top thing, but I get the bottom thing for points. So, I go to my pile. I take the card, so I don't get the 2 stone, but I do get this symbol for points, and I just put that away for later. Okay. Then I have this guy, which lets me have any 2 resources whenever I want them. Not like over and over and over again, just like, oh, I'm gonna keep this out publicly, and then I'm gonna be like, oh, I need a golden and a wood. This becomes a golden wood. So again, just like the temporary tool, I show this, I collect my 2 resources, and then it goes face down, and I collect the points later. Okay, but I don't have to choose what those resources are until I want to. Okay, and then finally, there's this guy, which is a little wonky. Okay, so in this, and there's a lot of these ones. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to roll a dice for every player. Okay, so in our example we have 3, but it could be 4. So I'm going to roll 3 dice. Okay, and that's going to determine what this card produces. So in this case, I rolled 2, 4. Well, let's say I rolled a 5, a 4, and a 2. So what I have available is I have a tool available, I have a gold available, and I have a brick available. I get first pick because I'm the one who rolled it. I'm probably going to pick the tool. Okay, so I'm going to pick the tool and then move on. The next player now has access to either a gold or a brick. Now, 9 times out of 10, they're probably going to pick the gold. But sometimes you're like, nope, I need brick. So they're going to take the brick. And then the third player is going to just take what's left. So if player 2 did take the brick, then all that's left is for the gold. And then that player is going to take a gold, and you move on. Okay, so 1 is a wood, 2 is a brick, 3 is a stone, 4 is a gold, 5 is a tool, and 6 is a farm. So if I rolled a 6, I can move this up on my farm track. And that's how all the different cards work, okay? At least in terms of what happens on the top. Okay, now let's talk points. Okay, now again, these points will happen at the end. These points will happen when you buy them. Okay, now a lot of these houses are, straight up, okay? 10 points. I spend 2 wood and a brick. But where does that 10 points actually come from? Well, that's explained in how all these other ones get points. Okay. What you do is you look at the value of the resource, and that's how much it's worth. So 2 wood and a brick, well, 3 plus 3 plus 4 is 10. And that's where the 10 comes from. And so when we look at these other special ones, like this guy, okay, it's, you know, the point is determined upon what do you use to buy it. Now, how this reads is I need 5 total resources of 2 unique kinds, okay? So I can have 4 gold and a wood. I can have 3 brick and 2 stone. It doesn't matter as long as I have 5 resources and there are only 2 different types. So I can't have, you know, 3 gold, a stone, and a brick because that would be 3 different types. Okay, I have to have 2 different types and I have to have a total of 5. Okay. Similarly, this one I have to have 5, but that one's 3 different ones. So, you know, I could have it as, you know, 3 wood, a brick, and a stone, but I couldn't do 4 brick and a gold. Okay. This one is I have to have all 4 different types of resources, and I need 4. So I don't know why that I don't just put like the points on this one, because it's always worth the same. It's always, no matter what, 18. 6 plus 5 plus 4 plus 3, because I have to have 1 of each on this one. Okay. Now this one is 1 to 7 of any resource. So that one truly is the most variable. I can have 1 resource, I can have up to 7, okay? And I can have any resource. So this can be 1 wood, it can be 2 wood and a brick, or it can be 7 gold. So this can be worth as little as 3 points, or as much as 42, 7 times 6, okay? But let's, for example, say I did, you know, 2 wood, a brick, 2 stone, and 3 gold. Or, nope, I can only do 2 gold. Let's do 1 stone and 3 gold, just so I have something different. Okay, so that would be 18, 23, 27, 30, 33. Oh, that's not bad. 33 for that house. Okay, and again, because it depends upon what I use to spend it, I want to track those points as soon as I buy it. So that's how all the different houses work. Now let's look at the points from the cards, okay? So if I look at the cards, there's basically 2, you know, again, there's 2 different kinds. There's the green bottoms and then there's the brown bottoms. Okay, so let's talk about the green bottoms first. They're the easiest ones to talk about. Okay. So we have time, we have art, we have transportation, we have agriculture, we have textiles, we have religion, we have maybe literature or something, and then we have music. Okay, so there's 8 different kinds of symbols. Okay, and there's 2 of each symbol. So there's 2 times, there's 2 religions, and so on and so forth. Okay, how many points do you get for a set? Well, it depends upon how many different symbols you have. Really what it is it's the number of symbols squared. But if you can't do that math in your head, you got this nice little table. So if I have 6 different symbols, I get 36 points. Okay, if I have 8 different symbols, I get up to 64. Now, if you have duplicates, so let's say I had, you know, these 6 symbols for 36, and then I had another transportation. Okay, well that'd be a whole new set, and I get that many squared. So, well, 1 squared is just 1. So I'd get 36 plus 1 for 37, for example. But it also could be, you know, I have this guy, okay, I get 6, 36 plus 2 squared is 4, so I get a total of 40. Okay, now I have the browns, okay? So there's different kinds of people, and they're also explained on here, but I'll walk through it. Okay, so I have the little tool maker guy, I have the little farmer guy, I have the shaman, and I have, or I had a builder. Where'd my builder go? I don't know where my builder went. I'll look for a builder. Okay, here's a little builder guy. Okay, now, what they are multipliers based on what they multiply. Okay, so the tool makers, obviously, for how many tools you have. Now, it's not how many tiles you have, it's the total number. So in this case, I have a 2, a 2, and a 1. Okay, so that's 5 times 1, I get 5 points. Okay. The little farmer guy is a multiplier based on your grains. So here, I have 3 fields. I have 1 guy, that's worth 3 points. Now here, I have 2 guys. Okay, so I have 2 shamans, and that's multiplied by the number of people. Okay, so if I have 6 people, this one's worth 12, because I got 2 times 6 people. Okay, and then buildings. Okay, so this guy times the number of buildings I have. So I have 5 buildings, I have 1 guy, that card's going to be worth 5 points. And if I can't remember, the symbology again is up here in my, my little player mat. So I figure out all the points for all my things. So I get my points from my buildings. I get my points from some of the cards that give you like 3 points like this guy. I get my points for the different symbols, number squared, for each set, and then add up the points for these different unique things. Now, okay, I have another person. Okay, well, you just add them up. So I have basically 3 shamans times my number of people. Again, I have 6 people, I have 3 shamans, so this total is going to be 18. So they are additive, and so you want to get as many as you probably can. And whoever has the most points wins. Now, let's say there's a tie. Okay. Now, so the only thing that your remaining resources matter is in the case of a tie. Because in the case of a tie, you add up your total value of your resources, just like you would with the houses. So again, this would be, 18, 23, 27, 33. I'd have 33 points worth of resources. Okay? So, I still have a tie. Okay? Then I look at who has the most food production. Okay? If I have the highest food production, I win. Okay? If there is still a tie, it doesn't have a thing. I like to have a definitive winner. Okay, so I go resources, then I go here, then I go to, my tools, whoever has the most tools, and then I go to the most people, and then I go to most cards, like just the physical number of cards, and then the physical, I've already gotten points for number of buildings in a sense, so I don't really like to count that. If it's still tied, which I don't think it ever could be, but if it's still tied, then we do a dice roll. But again, I do like a definitive winner. So those are all the 4 videos on how to play Stone Age from start to beginning, start to finish, and all the nuances that you could possibly want. If you want to learn more about how this game can be used in your classroom, I refer you to the other YouTube video on that. Again, thank you for watching all of these. I hope they've been informative.